When they start showing trailers of horror movies and they always say, scariest movie ever. Oh, this is going to get you. And then I go to the movies, I sit down, I don't have that expectation. And I think this may be the one time I should have had that expectation. Hello, everyone. My name is Jake from Talk Too Much. I just got out of the theaters of Obsession. And let me tell you, I'm going to be obsessed with this movie for a little bit. This movie is created by Curry Barker. It is his film debut after he did, I believe he did a movie on YouTube called Milk and Cereal, along with another project that he's working on that's supposed to be coming out soon. And this is his debut film, and I don't think I've ever been blown away by watching a director's first ever movie, official debut movie. Walking into this, I've only heard good things. I've heard people like this. I heard that people enjoy this. Haven't heard one single person say anything negative. So my expectations were starting to get higher and higher the more I was hearing about this movie. And so the premise of this movie, or at least the plot, is that Bear, a guy who works at a music store with his girl that he really likes, Nikki, he wants nothing more than to be in a relationship with her, to actually confess his feelings towards her. And so he has tried over and over and over again, can't muster up the courage to do it. So he goes inside his little gift shop and he gets himself this little gadget called a One Wish Willow. And he wishes that this girl, Nikki, would fall in love with him and love him more than anything else in the world. Well, the world took that a little too literally. And let me say, I have had very few moments where I was just in awe of scene after scene after scene. And this is one of those times where I got nothing but enjoyment out of this movie. And just the whole time I'm going, what's happening next? This is only going to get worse. Keep it going. And that's all I sat through the whole time watching. The positives are, this movie is so simple. It almost reminds me a little bit of how simple John Carpenter's Halloween movie was and how much praise that got. I would say that simple premise goes for the same thing for this new movie, Obsession by Curry Barker. And I was so blown away. It's just such a simple concept of, you can have all that you wish for, one wish. And what happens when you wish that, but it just goes wrong. And so right off the bat, I will say every single performance in this movie, it's as best as it needs to be, is as perfect as it needs to be. And there's not one single bad line that these people give or one single little oomph that it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Everything in this movie, it goes for it all the way. And all I felt like watching this was that Curry Barker just looked at all these actors and actresses and said, I need you to act as unhinged as possible to give me this movie. And dear Lord, it went that far and then above and beyond. And I gotta give shout out to the girl that played Nikki. I can't pronounce her name properly and I don't want to butcher it. I was blown away by her performance. She's a girl that gets kind of mind controlled into starting to fall in love with Bear. And she just gave an insane performance that she only got crazier as the movie went along. And you're thinking, you're like, okay, we're slowly getting there. She's starting to show these signs, yeah, that she's a little crazy. And then it just goes. And there's one scene in particular where I knew what was going to happen. I saw it from like a mile away. I was like, I know how this scene's gonna go. And when it still happened, I'm left is like, oh my God. Like there's no other way to describe how that scene went for me. And if you've seen the movie, you probably know which scene exactly I'm talking about. And it only goes from there. I wasn't expecting it to be as gory as it was, but it was. The violence in it was absolutely incredible. I mean, there's just something about having such a simple story and just executing it flawlessly, easily, flawlessly. That just makes it such a great movie. All these movies out here, they try to be too complicated. They try to add so many effects into it. And this movie doesn't need that. It has a job. it does the job, and it blows you away. That's really all I can say is like I'm just speechless about this movie. I think that the actress that played Nikki definitely deserves to have her name out there more, especially for horror. I can see her doing some incredible things. The guy that played Bear, who makes a wish, phenomenal. I felt like the character that he was portraying, that he was just he's scared to talk to this girl because he's awkward. That's how he is. He's awkward. He's not mentally well. You can clearly tell by a lot of the decisions that happen in this movie. And so for him making this decision and breaking this willow, it changes the game. It flips the whole script for him to where literally everything he has is now in the grasp of his palms, and it only goes wrong. I will say for my little bit of a mixed portion that I have here, it took a little bit of adjusting to get to in the beginning of the movie. Like I was trying to grab everything, understand how it was all going, what direction that this was leading. And so it happens fairly quickly when Bear breaks a willow, but there's no like supernatural effects or anything that happens once he breaks it. It just, you're go. That's it. It just goes from there. The moment he breaks it, Nikki comes outside of her house, and it only goes from there. And I was in such shock. That, like I said, that's my one little mix, is that it took a little bit of time to get into. I guarantee on second watch, when I'm watching this again, I'm just going to be like, I know exactly where this is going. This is not going to bother me whatsoever. So as for my negatives, nothing. Not one single complaint here. I don't wish it was shorter. I don't wish it was longer. The ending was such a shock to me that it worked. I don't think the ending should have changed. I mean, it takes some bold swings at the very end. I will say that it goes in some crazy absurd right before the credits hit, and everything just is happening and flying all at once, and you're just like, whoa. And the ending happens, and I'm like, you know what? With all these consequences and everything leading up to that point, that doesn't shock me. It doesn't. I'm like, I can be satisfied with that ending. Overall, if you want to see a movie with nothing but phenomenal performances and a movie that actually deserves the title of scariest movie of the year, this is a movie I can recommend because it holds that title. It does. Not Undertone, not Scream 7, not all these other films out here. This is something where I am just genuinely unnerving. Back to something else, that just the way that Curry Barker does this movie is that, when I say simple, is that all he has to do is just take Nikki and just stick her in a corner. That's it. And you can see with the lighting, you can see her in the corner. But all she has to do is just say a few words, and you're immediately creeped out. And you're like uncomfortable in the situation. You're just like, you're scared for what's about to come next, because you don't know which way this is going to go. You see her, but she's just standing there. She's just standing there. She's just giving, it's all physical body movement with Nikki, the way she acts, her facial expressions, everything like that. I was so blown away by this. Please check it out if you can. One of the best movies of the year, hands down. I doubt this will not be in my top 3, top 5 at least. I will be shocked otherwise. But yeah, go check this out. Let me know what you think down below. If you loved it, if you hate it, why. If you did hate it, please let me know. I'm genuinely curious. I have yet to hear anyone say that they hate this movie, or that they don't like it, or that it was overhyped. Please, I would like to hear it down below. Like and share. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see.